What's the difference between a bass and a double bass? The difference between a standard bass guitar and a double bass is obvious when you take a look at both of them side by side. For one, the bass guitar is much smaller than the double bass, and the double bass can be played with a bow, unlike the bass guitar. Both instruments are very popular. However, it's more common to find bass guitars, although it depends on where you are looking. Ultimately, they're fairly similar, but there are a few differences that are worth noting. The difference between a bass guitar and a double bass is that the bass guitar is smaller. It's held perpendicular to the player's body. It's often amplified via a bass amplifier, and it's played with fingers or a pick. Double basses are larger, they're stood upright, and they can be played with a bow. Since the invention of amplification in the early 1960s, we have seen the standard bass guitar, like Music Man's Stringray from Z Sounds, replace the double bass in popular music. The standard bass had a slow start, but quickly gained traction because of its lighter weight, mobility, and amplification capabilities. As I already mentioned, there are many differences between these two instruments that are worth exploring in more detail. Just by looking at them, you can see they are clearly different. The double bass is wide and quite tall. It sits on the floor on what is called a peg and is held upright by the bassist's hands and body. A bass guitar is usually a solid-bodied instrument, and it is hung around a bassist's neck via a guitar strap. According to the Wikipedia page for double basses, the size of a full-size double bass is generally 180 cm from peg to scroll. They also come in size variations from 3 or 4, 1 or 2, or all the way to a 1 or 4 in size for smaller players. The sizes aren't exactly relative to the main one either. For instance, a 1 or 2 double bass isn't half the size of a regular double bass, even though it would make sense to think in this way. A sizable carved bridge extends out from the double bass body to attach the strings to the bottom tailpiece and up to the tuning pegs at the top in the scroll, making it quite wide. Wikipedia says the length of a standard electric bass is considered a long scale at 86 cm, but can also come in either short scale, 34 cm or shorter, or extra long scale at 91 cm.